Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be reacting to
How to go from president to unemployed in under 6 hours.
Wow.
To be fair, this is 6 days ago, and he is still employed. So
He's still employed?
He's still employed, so the caption is not exactly correct yet.
I guess I don't feel so bad. US, we have Trump in office coming up soon. And
yeah, motherfuckers are convicted felon.
Yeah, and this guy is like crazy.
Guys, the
too.
South
He's
Korea
like,
situation is crazy, okay? The president's life's absolutely ruined after one of the dumbest decisions I've seen in my life.
Interesting watching this now. It was 6 days ago. That was his thought process, because that's what it felt like it was gonna happen. Everybody, I'm sure, me including, we're thinking, oh, he's definitely getting impeached. Well, guess what?
Damn.
Tried to pull an Emperor Palpatine, but
it's like you can't get rid of the villain.
Failed miserably. Not even half an hour after he stated what he was going to do, the South Koreans all went to the streets and protested. Even though the weather was extremely cold and there was a snowstorm going on, they were not going to deal with his antics. But this wasn't even close to the craziest thing that happened throughout this incident.
That's good for them. That's good that people are standing up for the country.
Yeah.
You had the leader of the opposing party live stream himself trying to go against the orders of the president. Okay, this was absolutely wild.
Wow.
What essentially happened was that the South Korean president enacted martial law, hoping to seize full, unquestionable power, mobilizing the military and seeking to disrupt the entire country. In the end, though, he ended up completely underestimating his own citizens and made a grave miscalculation. Make no mistake, this will be in the history books of your children. So I figured we should probably talk about it. Let's do it. On December 3rd, around 10:27 p.m. South.
That's cool. Like, what if they see our video? People talking about South Korea martial law.
You know who's going to see our video, Casa? But no, I don't know. I mean, obviously, it's going to be in history books, yeah, but that can be said about anything. Like, really. Like, it's... Everything is going to be in the history books, Every election is going to be in the history books.
Yeah.
So it's like...
I mean, what was shocking was hearing in South Korea a lot of presidents have been impeached.
Yeah.
So it's like another...
exactly,
event,
considering their, history with impeachments in South Korea, this is fairly... it's not insignificant because they did say 40 years ago is the last time they declared martial law.
Yeah, so that was
that
the move
significant.
Whoa.
But it does seem that their politics are super fucking corrupt. So it's like, from my perspective, looking at it, just another one. It's not like it's the first one.
I think he's trying to win.
Another one,
He's trying to win for the worst, probably.
He's not impeached yet, so.
Korean time.
So
the South Korean president, with no prior announcement or warning, declared martial law, emergency martial law, saying that he had to rein in the country because too many politicians were corrupt and working with the enemy, which is North Korea. He said he wanted to fix the country. Now, under the Constitution of South Korea, the president can by himself actually declare martial law. What he was doing was fully within his rights. But for South Koreans, especially the ones from older generations, martial law was bad news no matter how you worded it. The last time a martial law was imposed was in the year of 1980. A rogue general had taken over the country and imposed martial law on it, closed down all newspapers, silenced anyone who was against him, arrested politicians, and put the country under dictatorship. Many South Koreans tried to go up against him, but unfortunately left this planet doing so, let's just say. The martial law order only ended up being lifted in 1981. After 456 days of suffering. And it was only in 1987 that the Sixth Republic of Korea was written and then put into place in 1988.
That's crazy. There's people who experience this twice now.
Well, yeah, but it seems like you cannot compare the 1981 with this one. This one is kind of like almost a gimmick compared to that one. That one was for a year. This one was for like 2 hours.
And people died.
In a democracy, and there hasn't been any martial law order imposed. So what the hell led us here? How are we here today? Well, Yoon Suk-yeol has been the president of South Korea since 2022. But very shortly after taking office, he became very disliked by his population. South Koreans were seeing him as ineffective, someone who couldn't put into place impactful policies to advance the country forward. And by 2024, his approval rating is as low as 20%.
Oh,
this
that's
means that
not
8
bad.
out of 10.
Last time we said 13.
13 is newer than this. This is older than that. Yeah, it's 13 right now, yeah.
And South Koreans don't like him and want him out of the office. I mean, I think it's safe to say that even Kim Jong-un has a higher approval rating, and he wasn't even voted in by his population. He is deeply unpopular. This unpopularity stretches even to the National Assembly, where the party that has the majority of votes is the opposing party, the one who is against the president.
The Kim Jong-un comment is interesting. I do wonder, what his approval rating would be. Not if like you ask the people, because no people are gonna be afraid to say it. But like if truly, like if remove him and then ask afterwards, what would be the approval rating, Because people would in that fucking country, you can't say you disapprove because they'll kill you. So it's like his approval rating is going to be 100%.
They're called the Democratic Party. So he hasn't really had much luck there either, not able to pass the bills he wants to pass. Very recently, on November 29th, 2024, the budget that the president wants to pass for 2025 was cut by $2.9 billion. This was done by the opposition party, the Democratic Party. The same party who's been trying to investigate the wife of the president multiple times now over corruption charges, and just very recently started the process to impeach the head of the state audit agency and 3 prosecutors involved in those scandals. So as you can see, the president has a bit of a rivalry with the Democratic Party. This led many to theorize that all these things accumulated led him to take the decision of martial law, with the budget cut being the final nail in the coffin. He saw his political career ending with shame and decided to take a huge risk. But it's a risk that stank miles away. It simply didn't smell like the best of intentions. Look, there's 2 different kinds of martial laws: emergency martial law and security martial law, okay? The most drastic one is emergency martial law, which is the one he had imposed, the same one that was used in 1980. So he can essentially close any media publication he wants to, arrest any person on South Korean soil without any arrest warrant needed, impose curfews, and straight up confiscate someone's bank account if he wanted to. And the list goes on. He can do pretty much anything he wants to with no approval needed. The only thing that can stop him is the
purpose? Like, you have to have an intention, no?
Martial law, no. I wonder if it's the same here too in the States. I don't know. I've never had, at least never, within our lifetimes.
I don't know.
So I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised because I don't know if he would.
Maybe that's an interesting idea. Maybe we should do a video about American martial law, how it would work hypothetically. Because we do have a new president upcoming. Who knows?
I think he may want to stay so he can avoid the charges.
Assembly voting to lift the martial law. That's the only threat he faces while having absolute
Russia, it's the
power.
same thing. They impose martial law because Vladimir.
They don't even impose nothing.
Because Vladimir Putin, he's been there.
Well,
since, I know him forever. I don't know another president from Russia.
There's Medvedev. He was there for a minute while Putin was premier.
I always learn as Vladimir Putin in charge. He's the boss.
And it's a little different. South Korea supposedly it's a democracy. Russia is not really. So you can't compare that. Russia is kind of like a dictatorship, so it doesn't need martial law. It's always martial. Like the law is martial law. So.
Panic was starting to set in. Whether you were a normal citizen, someone in the military, a police officer, it didn't matter. Something like this hadn't happened in over 40 years, and they had no warning prior. The whole thing was extremely unorganized.
Now, to learn about North and South Korea, because they're so contrasting.
Learn what?
They're contrasting views on government because
there's
at
no
one
you can
point,
they don't
at
have
one point, at one point, people from the North could go to the South.
They
people
can.
From the South. At one point before. People can go from the north to the south to the north, and the families are in both areas. But once they did the separation, say you cannot enter North Korea, people lost their family on the other side who couldn't go back to South Korea. So I'm curious to understand their perception of government and how they return into contrasting views.
You wouldn't be able to understand that.
What do you mean?
There is no such information. They cannot give their perception.
How history happened, because at one point
they cannot communicate with the outside.
No, I don't need to hear it from the people from the north, because obviously they can't say anything to me.
So what do you want to hear?
Special historians who cover.
Historians know what people feel like. If people are afraid to tell you anything.
How do you know? Did you look it up? You're trying to shut it down. I'm curious.
I didn't look it up before this discussion, but I have seen it before.
I'm talking and you're saying, no.
I've seen it before. It's bad out there. Yeah, people they cannot. Overall, in dictatorship countries, you cannot say anything about the opposition or you'll get offed.
Because oftentimes,
so it's asking them is pointless because they're just nod their head. Oh, it's great, it's great. But,
I don't think you understand what I'm saying. It's okay.
Unfortunately, the initial reaction in the West to this was K-pop stans being worried that their favorite K-pop groups were not going to perform anymore because after the martial law was imposed, major entertainment companies were canceling events. But hey, I guess they helped spread the word around. As the news was starting to reach the West,
That is kind of fucked up that, the K-pop stans, they're not concerned for the people, they're concerned, oh, we're not gonna get to see our people perform.
as we received more updates from South Korea. The martial law commander was announced. It was going to be a man by the name of Park An-soo. He then proceeded to shock the world with his first announcement after taking over this position, that all activities related to the National Assembly and political parties are now banned. I think you're starting to understand why this was such a big deal, right?
In South Korea, there's individualism or is it community based? Because the viewpoint, oh, I'm not gonna get to see my K-pop star, isn't that more individual based?
I think this is Western K-pop followers, not Korean. Like,
Oh,
people
because
outside
I didn't. Okay, because I
I
didn't
mean,
understand if it was who was saying that.
yeah, I think people in Korea, they weren't concerned about K-pop.
I think so too,
yeah,
because
I don't-
I remember when we saw like a clip of one idol who was on live. When she heard of the news, she was like, her face was shocked.
yeah.
The guy from the radio station who had to report the news, he was shocked. I think everyone was shocked because you don't know what that means. It's 10:30 at night, and you say the country martial law has been intact. What's going on? That means something's happening. You know?
Yeah, no, I think that comment that he
Yeah.
made wasn't about Korean K-pop fans, it was more so about international K-pop fans.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Stop the martial law had effectively been banned, well, from being able to stop it. It was very clear now why the president was so secretive, why there were no prior announcements. He had announced the martial law order at 10:30 p.m. so that the National Assembly members could not make it to the National Assembly.
Ooh,
He
they
wanted to
made
catch
it.
them
They
all
showed
off
up.
guard and take control while they were sleeping. All of this was confirmed when a big problem had revealed itself.
Ooh.
The military had been mobilized to block all access to the National Assembly.
That's crazy.
The stakes at this point could not have been any
That's
higher.
also very
The South Koreans were
intimidating.
essentially seeing their democracy slip through their fingers, and the older generation was having terrible flashbacks back to the year 1980. But South Korean men are obligated to serve in the South Korean military through conscription, and while women are not obligated to, they can still voluntarily join. This meant that they didn't really fear the military as much as a regular person would, and they weren't just gonna back down. Even after fully understanding the situation, the opposition Democratic Party urgently summoned its members of the National Assembly. They were going to go and lift that martial law even if the entire army was standing in their way. The South Korean people were aware of these efforts, so they made their way to the National Assembly to help them. There's this clip right here that went absolutely viral of a woman holding a rifle in front of her and not giving a single shit about what would happen if it was shot. Watch.
Ooh.
Then they're not gonna shoot, like, I mean...
They literally pointed it at her.
Yeah, but if they
That's
kill their
scary.
own citizen for that, you know what that would be? That I feel if the person shot, America would immediately intervene, and if that's...
You think so?
I think so, because if once Trump comes in, it's a little different. I think that he is not going to intervene to shit, but with Biden's still here, I think we would have intervened. But that's why I don't. Of course, it's easy for me to say I'm not the one, having the gun pointed at me.
Yeah.
I understand that. That I understand.
No.
It takes some sort of balls
It
to
does.
do that. Yeah,
It does.
I'm not taking it away from
Some
her.
people, they are on heights looking through a glass and shitting
Yeah,
themselves.
No, I
Okay.
I understand
This
that.
is brave.
Yeah, no, I'm not taking anything. I'm just saying I really don't think. I don't think they had permission to hurt their own citizens. Because if that were to happen,
But accidents happen.
true. That is true. That is true.
President was not going against the opposition party here. He was going against these regular people. And he had grossly miscalculated just how strong these people were. He had sent the military, he had sent helicopters flying over the National Assembly trying to dissuade people from even approaching it. But nothing was working. The leader of the opposition party live streamed himself, sneaking into the National Assembly by hopping over a fence. Like, this is something that you don't see at
Which is
all.
crazy
This is
because then
crazy.
the army
People
is
were in
not
full
securing
defiance here.
the
This is such an
building is
incredible
supposed to be
image that really
securing.
shows you how the South Korean people came together very quickly to make sure that all the parliament members get through to the National
Good
Assembly.
for them, you know. Good for the people.
And
I'm
it's
glad
cold
they stood
outside.
up,
It don't look like it, but it's cold outside. They said it was cold.
Michelle, 0
32
degrees. It's not that
degrees,
cold. It's
36
not
degrees
that cold.
Fahrenheit. It's cold.
not that
It's
cold.
cold.
It's not that
This
cold.
picture looks like a Renaissance painting. I mean, they're over here lifting the parliament member
would be
up the
crazy.
fence so that he can go and vote on nullifying this crazy martial law order. You truly don't see this every day. The members were able to sneak into the National Assembly and start the vote. However, the military was still trying to stop them. They were breaking windows and trying to get to the National Assembly to stop whatever was going on because under martial law, this was illegal. But again, the South Korean people showed incredible resilience. They put up barricades from inside the National Assembly. I mean, look at this. This is crazy. Look at all this furniture in front of the doors. Good luck getting through that. Okay, it's not happening
I wonder
unless
if
you
the
have a
person who
bulldozer.
had to fix
This is
this
what
after.
happens when your citizens go through conscription. They were using the military's tactics against them. And thanks to their efforts, 190 members of the National Assembly were able to make it and vote yes to lift the martial law order, completely defying the president. Now, of course, this was a great moment, but it didn't mean much just yet. The president had to acknowledge this and actually order the military to leave. If he didn't, things would have gotten very complicated and he would have been accused of treason. Thankfully, though, 6 hours after declaring the martial law order, he did another speech acknowledging the National Assembly's vote and completely lifting it. As soon as he did that, the soldiers started leaving the National Assembly, retreating, and getting back to their normal lives. The South Korean people pretty much
they're
won,
just leaving.
making
It's
sure
okay.
to not repeat the same events that had happened in 1980. And
You know, these soldiers, I wonder if these soldiers are like professional soldiers or the people that are being conscripted right now.
That's why I was wondering. Could
Yeah.
be your idol.
Yeah,
like,
so if the idols that are conscripted, and you know, because some are paper pushing, but the ones that are like in actual field work, I wonder if those were like right here on, you know, pointing guns at people.
all the other martial laws that were abused by people
Because
who
you
want
know, at the same time, I don't think the people, the military personnel, wanted to be here or do any of this either.
Then why are they so aggressive?
It's the job. It's the job you have to do. You know, like. But I don't think they wanted
Because
to do
all
it.
the president says is just stand and guard it. You don't have to do it your best possible.
I mean, people
capabilities.
coming at you, you know. It's,
Yeah, but you don't have to do the best job. Like you don't have to do that.
well, they didn't do the best job because clearly the vote was they managed to get in and the vote was casted. So
wanted to stay in power. When things started to calm down, the Democratic Party revealed that the military planned to arrest the Assembly Speaker and party leaders under martial law, which made them review possible insurrection charges. I think it's common sense to say that if you want to arrest your political opponents, that is pretty much against what democracy stands for. That's a very serious accusation.
Wow.
Shortly after, the Democratic Party floor leader, Park Chan-dae, called for President Yoon to step down immediately, saying President Yoon cannot avoid the charge of treason. He must step down immediately. As this was all happening, the senior aides and secretaries of the president have started resigning in droves. This was a complete failed coup, okay? He had turned from dictator to clown in the span of like 4 hours. Even his own senior officials can't back him up anymore. The dude screwed up royally. At this point, it's almost guaranteed that he's going to get impeached and most likely also probably thrown into jail. This was a massive wake-up call to South Korea.
well, we're still here. So a week later.
Because they haven't had to deal with something like this for over 40 years. Thankfully,
That's what I'm saying. It's interesting watching it in hindsight, you know, and what it was. Because
That's the same way with Trump. They were like, oh yeah, he's gonna go to jail. He's gonna go to jail.
right, because if you were to watch this immediately when it dropped, it would be, oh yeah, definitely. But look now, you know.
we're able to avert the crisis, but still, one has to think, what if it did end up working? What would have happened then? But I think the funniest thing in all this is that there are people who slept early and woke up and had no idea this had happened. Protests and fights in the country with an imminent dictatorship and are just now finding out. Like this person right here who commented on my YouTube post saying, I'm literally in Korea right now for a visit and this shit happens while I was asleep from jet lag. LMAO, my whole Korean family is hella pissed at him and calling him a clown. I saw a lot of confusion about this topic with many people not knowing what happened. So I thought I'd make a quick video explaining it.
Well, good thing there's other people who was awake who showed up, you know, and helped the members get in there to vote.
Yeah, I'm glad the country, you know, the people stood up.
Yeah. Guys, of course, let us know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord. And always share as much kindness as possible. Bye.